Hey, welcome to back to a faster me. This is going to be CBR number 3. This is the women's P123 race. I believe it's a 50-minute race, and we should have about 6 or 7 women racing in this field here. Yeah, so like usual, we have Marlena, Elisa, Morgan, Felicia, Morgan Stillwell, Anastasia, and Naomi. Naomi hasn't been in some of the last videos because she's been, out of state, but she's down for a little California trip right now. So she'll be racing this race and the next couple races with us as well. So anyway, we're on the Dominguez side or the Compton side, going counterclockwise, just past turn 1. This is turn 2 here. This is going to turn 2. Just small, kind of flat to downhill. It's a little riser somewhere in the middle there, about 1%, and then the rest is kind of downhill. It's all left-hand turns. There's a pretty good bump or dip here, or both, a bump and a dip, and some broken concrete there, and then some broken concrete about here also to the right there. Other than that, the course is in really good shape, really smooth. It's just a, wide, fast flowing course. I can't see who that is in the front right there. It's pretty windy also right now. This is a pretty stiff headwind. It did kind of swirl later in the day and change directions, but it was a pretty good headwind here. And then this is turn 3, and then this is going up the kind of steepest part of the course. Not too bad. It's about 3%. And another kind of headwind, but it's coming off the right side a little bit, so kind of more of a crosswind here. I believe this is one of the Altavelo riders in front here, putting in a good pace, just kind of setting tempo. It's not too hot right now, but it's the first lap, just kind of getting things rolling. And then that's Roz that pulls up next to her. Altavelo was really active this race. They did a great job. Like I said, it's good to see them down here racing. I know some of them are from here, but the team is based out of the kind of more Northern California, Bay Area. So that's Shawnee that comes up and joins them here. That's turn 4. And then there's a short sprint here to the finish line, which there's no banner to this today, so it kind of doesn't give you a reference point. But I believe the finish line is about right here. Like right there, that's the finish line. Normally there's the, like the banner or balloon or whatever, the art. So there's Morgan Stillwell that comes up to the front now. I think we did a pretty good job of racing this weekend. That's Jules there. It's her first race back for a while. It's good to see Jules out here for Major Motion. We had a pretty good field. It wasn't as many numbers this weekend. I think it was only about 24, 25 riders. But it's still pretty good. Every race over 20. We've talked about it a while. We want to see more women out here racing. And in years past, sometimes the fields were really small. And this year they've been decent. They've been all over 20 and sometimes even over 30. So it's great to see, and hopefully that trend continues throughout the season as the weather warms up a little bit. So yeah, I think we did a pretty good job of racing here. Kind of did a lot of things that we wanted to do, and then we're just kind of working on some other things. So I can't tell who's at the very front. It looks like it might be Shawnee still, if I'm judging the kit correctly, with Feline on her wheel. Feline was very active, as usual. It's one of the reasons why she's in the most aggressive rider jersey. We're still holding the yellow at the moment with Morgan James. I think Elisa's right in the mix, too, for both the yellow and the green. But yeah, it's a pretty good race. Some pretty good stuff going on in it. Pretty good tactics. Like always, the race starts off a little bit slow, and then once you start throwing some preems in the mix and some of the points preems, it starts getting a little bit spicy. So there's Marlena going there, putting in a lot of walks, just trying to cover the move off the front here. think that's Feline going on one of her runs. Feline's very strong, capable of breaking away. Marlena does a good job of kind of closing the gap and just, keeping everything in check. It's just kind of regular common tactics, but if there's a breakaway, we definitely want to be in it. You don't want to be separated back chasing the break. I think there's only 2 mommies in the race this weekend. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I think it was just Feline and Jazz. So yeah, I don't have the stats for this race. That's Naomi going off the front there. Naomi puts in a lot of attacks there. Pretty wide on the turn, but yeah, Naomi puts in a lot of attacks, keeps everyone honest. And I'm not sure if that was Taylor on her wheel with Emmy kind of chasing there and Feline jumps on. And I'm not sure if that was Emmy or Reagan, but one of the ice speed women. Colleen joins the party as well with PRT. And that's Emmy there. I know Emmy's riding style. So that was more Reagan that kind of closed the gap up there to Naomi and the Altavella rider. Yeah, but like I said, it gets kind of spicy once you start throwing these preems in. I don't know if we've had a preem yet, but once we start throwing in preems, and then we have a number of women that are capable of breaking away that ride pretty aggressively. Sometimes it's hard to recognize ice speed with the pink. I'm so used to seeing them in blue. And I don't know if they have 2 different kits now, like maybe the men have blue and the women have pink. Not really sure. Haven't seen a lot of the ice speed guys this year yet. So it looks like they got the hammer down a little bit here. Maybe there was a little bit of separation and they wanted to try to get off the front. Marlena accelerates to close it down a little here. Feline kind of looks over her shoulder, see if it's all together, if there's a gap. Yeah, like I said, Feline's very active. She doesn't mind working hard, and she's super strong. So, yeah, she doesn't mind taking another pull, especially to keep the speed going, or if there's any chance of kind of breaking away. Loves to counterattack as well. I'm not sure of the young lady's name in the PRT kit. I think she's riding solo today. I think she was the only one I remember seeing in the uniform today for PRT. Yeah, you can see it's up. It's pretty warm today at 81 degrees. We started off the day in the morning like in the 40s. It was mid to high 40s. When the first races were going off. I think my race it was 50 degrees, and then of course later in the day I think the women raced at 130. It's up to 81, and it was almost unbearably hot. It felt like. So Roz is also pretty active throughout races. She spends a lot of time on the front also. Once again, when the speed's pretty slow like this, you know somebody's going to attack pretty soon. I don't know who or where, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going to attack. It's pretty good effort here. Roz is ramping up the speed going up the hill here. There's Felicia coming to take over some of the duties at the front with Elisa on her wheel. And congratulations to Elisa also. She got selected for the Jackroot composite team. She'll be racing the Redlands Classic with the Jackroot composite team in a couple weeks. Definitely it'd be fun to see how she does in that type of field. And with those courses, the courses are pretty hard. I know she's fit, strong enough to, you know, to handle the courses and all that kind of stuff, but it's always interesting, you know, and no matter how good or fit you are, you still have to do it. And that's the beauty of this sport is, yeah, race day is just different. There goes Anastasia and Naomi on a little attack on the right side. Got a little bit of separation. Couldn't see who was chasing them. But they definitely have like a couple second gap there. I think this kicks off the first breakaway also. That attack there gets the first breakaway established. And we're always happy to be in a breakaway. You know, it's not always the strategy or the plan, but yeah, we're definitely happy to be in a breakaway. So Marlena comes up to cover. I'm not sure how many people we have in the break right now. Obviously, if we get enough, we'll probably leave it and not want to chase it. Or if you have like the right riders in the breakaway that actually want to ride the breakaway to, you know, see it out. If they're not going to see it out, then of course, you know, we want it back together. So Jazz goes and bridges right here, or puts in a bridge attempt, followed by one of the Altavello riders. Marlena jumps on that wheel. Not sure if that little pause right there in the pedals is almost like a brake check. But she definitely had the speed up. Maybe she was shifting gears or something. I think that's Taylor that comes around the outside there with Elisa following her. Yeah, there's definitely too many riders getting up there now for us not to be in it. So we definitely got to get it, you know, a couple people in that break. Or run it down, whichever. Yeah, you can see it was a pretty hard effort because people are starting to go backwards now. And there's still people hammering it on the front up there. Jules was in that break, I think, for a second. I think Morgan decides to let it go. I think it's a decent break. If I'm not mistaken, we may have 3 people in that break, so you know, we'll give it a chance to see if, you know, if it's gonna stick, if they're gonna put some work in and let it stick. So we'll give it a chance to give it some separation here. So as you see, Marlena's getting up the hill, but she's not really putting in a big effort to get up the hill. So Morgan goes, and I think Marlena's telling her to ease off a little bit, let the break get away. We're represented pretty well in it. I think we have Felicia, Anastasia, and Elisa. It's a 7-person break, so if we got 3 of the 7, yeah, it's good. We'd want to see it get away. We'll let it go. Other people will chase. We'll jump on the wheel, but yeah, we don't want to be the ones to run that down when we have 3 out of 7 people in it. Even though it's a good match, it's not like we're guaranteed anything there. You got Colleen, Jazz, Taylor, can't remember who else was in it, but you got some fast finishers up there, so it wasn't like we're guaranteed to be on the podium or anything. But again, 3 out of 7, I'll take our chances with that. We're not delusional. We don't think we're here going to just win every race or anything like that. So a podium is a big accomplishment when you're racing against a competitive field. So yeah, 3 out of 7, we'll take our chances with it and roll the dice. So yeah, I think we had some mixed signals here because Morgan looks like, yeah, she's putting in a little bit harder dig than we want to see here. We don't, like I said, we don't really want to chase this. Yeah, the speed's up pretty high, and we definitely want to just kind of sit and let this one get away a little bit. Like I said, if anybody else chases, that's fine, but we definitely don't want to chase it. And I think Marlena is trying to communicate to her, but like I said, it's windy, it's loud out there, and I'm not sure if she can even hear what Marlena's telling her. I think Altavella was represented in that break too. I'm not sure if they want to chase it back or not. Ross seems like she's putting in a pretty strong dig here, so maybe they do want to run it back. They do have, a good sprinter and everything too, so maybe they want it to end in a sprint. Not really sure what everyone's tactics are. She kind of sits up a little bit here. Yeah, I think the break is pretty well established now. They have a pretty good gap. I want to say they probably have at least 20, 30 seconds by now. I could be wrong. Maybe I just can't see them, but yeah, they look like they're out of sight already, so. So definitely Ross puts in a little bit harder dig there to get the speed back up a little. And there's Morgan just right on her wheel. It's a good spot to sit. Just kind of sit, second, third wheel. Yeah, let somebody else do the work if they want to run it back. I think if I was Altovelo, I'd probably let the break go as well, because I think Taylor's in the break. She's a good sprinter. And it's only 7 people, so it's kind of like a reduced field. Yeah, she probably has a good chance in there. But again, like I said, I don't know everybody else's tactics or game plan, or if they're freelancing. I'm not really sure what everybody else is doing. So it's just, just an opinion. Like, I think she has a good chance in that small break as well. You can see they just turned the corner now. So Ross made up a lot of ground there. And like I said, Morgan's kind of putting in too hard of a dig. I think she's just kind of stuck in that mode of like covering it. And yeah, we just didn't communicate well here. Myself included, I'm right there to the left, and it was just too noisy there, and we had some mixed signals. I heard at one point some people telling them to chase it when I was trying to telling them to let it go. So I ended up moving and going over between turns 3 and 4 where they can hear me better, and just told them, like, yeah, let that go. You know, we're well represented in that break. We have almost half the riders in the break, so let that go, and you know, we'll take our chances in the break. And that was Kat that tried to put in the dig there. She came up to help. Like I said, let all the riders that do not have a team made up there chase, and we can just kind of sit on it. So yeah, they just turned the corner there. Just under a 10-second lead now. And I'm pretty sure it was up to at least 20 a couple laps ago. So I think Roz made a pretty big dent in that, you know, in the breakaway. It's still a good lead, though. It's still a really good break. It takes a lot of effort to close that gap there. If the girls are working together up front at all, you know, it's pretty hard to catch, and those are some pretty strong women up there, too. So, yeah, now you got Jules back up here, too. You know, like I said, all the riders without a teammate up there, they're going to be the ones kind of rotating through to contribute to bring that back. Yeah, Rob's been on the front for a while, too, putting in a lot of work. So, yeah, you can hear me or see me tell Marlena just kind of to sit on it. So Morgan wants to bridge to it. She just wants to be represented in there as well, which would be great if we get one of our sprinters in there. But I think also just with so many people pulling, and here's the thing of it, once it gets in, like I said, that 8 to 10 second range, yeah, that's going to make people want to bridge that gap. It's different from pulling. You know, if you're going to bridge, you obviously don't want to take everybody with you. And, you know, 2 of the other sprinters jump on. Kat's a pretty good sprinter. She kind of has like a long sprint. I think she rides the track a lot as well. But, yeah, once it gets in that kind of carrot zone where there's somebody's dangling a carrot, yeah, it entices people to bridge to it. Marlena let the gap open because, again, we don't want everybody in that break. And right now it's probably too big. With Morgan and the other 2 riders joining, it's probably too big of a break now, and we want to just bring it back. Because once it gets to, you know, we're only in the field of low 20s, so half the field is up there. You're kind of rolling the dice again. Even though we're well represented, we'd have 3-4 riders in it out of 10. Because I think there was 7 at first, and now there's 3 more joining. That's 10 riders. Yeah, we don't really want it to be that big of a group. Yeah, kudos to Roz. She put in a really good effort these last so many laps. She's been at the front a while, so definitely very strong. So goes Marlena just covering another move. Marlena raced really well, I think. You know, just controlling the front a lot and a lot of communication with her team. It's definitely something that gets overlooked is covering all these moves, like at the beginning and in the middle of a race. It takes a lot of energy. Most people, especially for us, like I said, we race as a team. So a lot of times people just focus on, who has the highest finish or who's on the podium and stuff. But the other girls actually put in a lot of work during the race, controlling the field and stuff to allow people to have, those high finishes. So yeah, we're definitely a little past the halfway point here. And like I said, the race is not, I can't say it's been hard. I'm not in it, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit different with a group that big off the front. So it's definitely a split peloton right now. I would say it's, it's like a 60-40 split. So there goes Roz and Morgan again. I don't know if Naomi's in that break or if she's behind right now too. I know Naomi helped start the break, and I'm pretty sure that Anastasia stayed in the break with Felicia and Elisa. So yeah, they're down to about 5 seconds now, probably on the break. And yeah, if you can see, I moved to the left right there under that tree, just so I can give better instructions without so much noise and distractions over there. But yeah, I know at the time I would have really liked that break to stay away, the original break of just 7. Yeah, it'd have been good to see. Good to see how it played out. Not to mention we had some different riders up there. It'd be good to give people a chance to race for a win, some people that usually have been kind of sacrificing themselves with Felicia and Anastasia would have given them a good chance to have a good finish. And with Elisa there, we know we always have a chance with her, and like especially in a small group like that, and it's a breakaway type situation. Yeah. But hey, it's all back together now, basically. So it's a moot point. We had a chance to let that break go, and I think we kind of made a little bit of mistake, and then also Roz was putting in a lot of work to bring it back. So yeah, it just didn't work out, and the group's all back together now. So it's kind of like hitting the reset button. So there's Naomi there. Like I said, Naomi kind of started the break. Her and Anastasia got that break started. It's a little fast speed right here. Because, yeah, once you catch a break, like Naomi kind of was going to launch a counter attack here, but I think Feline beat him to it, and she's off the front already. But as you can see, we have 4 riders already there, so we were definitely well represented in the break, and would have been good, like I said, for it to stay away and to see where the chips would fall. But Feline's, like I said, she's really active. She's really good at counterattacks. And, of course, as soon as everybody was back together, Feline attacked again. Yeah, it kind of looks funny without a banner at the finish line. Like, there's no real reference point to where how far you have to go and where the line's at. And I kind of can't remember if we've had one every race or not. So there's Felicia there to the left with Naomi out front setting the pace. And I think somewhere in here, and I don't know if it's this lap or not, there was some bar points or mar points up for grab. And I can't remember if Morgan kind of contested one or not. It's kind of funny because those trees look really still, but there was definitely it was definitely windy. But the trees like aren't moving at all. So power-wise, it's a pretty solid effort by Marlena here coming up the hill. And I can't remember what I told her here. You know, she's on the front of the peloton there. And like I said, I don't know if there's those sprint points. I think so, as you can see Taylor going with Morgan right on her wheel. So I think that there were some points up for grabs there. Yeah, so shout out to Kat also. I don't see her on video right now, but Kat Kendall. She just moved up. This is only her second race, and I think she did pretty good. I can't remember if she's on the podium here or if she got 4th place. I think it counts maybe as a Cat 3 win or second place. But yeah, in her second race, she's, in the top 4. And her first race last week at Costa Mesa, I think she maybe was in the top 5, 6, 7. I think maybe 7th. So definitely a good job. She was giving Audrey a run for the yellow jersey in the Cat 4 category before she catted up. And now that she catted up, she's been in the top 7, 2 races in a row. So, and in a pretty solid field too, a pretty competitive field. So definitely doing a good job, and I'm sure she's going to be even better in the future. Can't really see who's off the front there. I think it's one of the Alta Velo riders. And I'm just guessing because it looks like maybe that's an orange jersey. And it looks like we're going to be coming into just about 10 laps to go. I think the lap counter starts at about 6 laps to go, but it looks like we're probably just about 10 laps to go right now. Maybe a little less. Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard to get that green jersey off of Feline. Feline's definitely really aggressive, and she leads a lot of laps with all these breakaways and attacks, so definitely going to be hard to get her out of the green jersey. Yeah, and I haven't seen the calculations for this week yet for the overall yellow jersey that Morgan holds. She's been pretty consistent all year, though, so probably, it's a close battle, so probably going to be hard to, get her out of that jersey as well if she still has it. You can see that little patch there is where there's usually a hole there that wears out from all these big rigs. So that's Anastasia up front, just setting a little tempo. Anastasia had a good race as well this weekend. I think she had her highest finish of the year this weekend, maybe 6th place, if I can remember correctly, 6th place, 7th place. Oh, in the overall, I think it was 5th in the P123. So we have a lot of girls on the front right now. I think we have 4 riders near the front. Pace isn't too hot. There goes Elisa there on a little attack here. I can't remember if she's going for a preem or some points, because it doesn't look like she's really trying to get away. She doesn't have the hammer down. But Feline and Colleen, they'll just kind of cover it just to make sure. But I think she was just going for a preem there. But it could have been a good chance for us to kind of run some interference for her and let her go ahead and get off the front. Like I said, about 8 laps to go, and yeah, she definitely can do that. She definitely can make it those 8 laps. You know, depending on how the rest of it plays out. But I'm sure, you know, being that she won the first race in a breakaway, I'm sure people are not going to just let her roll off the front. So yeah, probably 8 laps to go. And that's Kat in front of the camera right now with the blue socks and the white shirt or jersey. So yeah, you see Altavelo's pretty tight this race, you know, racing together as a team. Definitely had some team tactics and stuff going. So yeah, it was pretty impressive. They were very active this race and did a good job. And great job to Jules too, coming back. Like I said, virtually her first race of the year. I think it's her second technically. But yeah, I want to say she was maybe 10th or so. Yeah, Roz is a warrior up there. She's been on the front a lot and putting in a lot of work. So yeah, we definitely need to pay attention to this. We definitely don't want these 3 getting off the front. But I think they're, again, just maybe going for a preem or something. Yeah, and I'm not sure of the other Altavelo rider's name. Probably should look it up, but I'm not sure if that's Sarah with Serious Cycling here. Can't remember how many riders they had in the group, but that might be Sarah Blasik there. And I believe that's Anastasia there, just putting in a little dig, putting in a little attack. And hopefully, I don't think Naomi's chasing her there. Hopefully not. So definitely want someone else to chase her if possible, just depending on what the strategy is here. Like I said, sometimes there's a lot of preems and different stuff, but Altavelo's definitely going to chase it down. With Shawnee on her wheel, Feline jumps on. So yeah, we're down to about 4 laps to go here, maybe 3. 3 to 4 laps to go. It's definitely getting closer to crunch time. Looks like Feline may have had a little numbness in her right hand. Yeah, some of these courses, I mean, this course is fairly smooth. But I know like Costa Mesa course, just that one side is pretty beat up. It can put a lot of vibrations in your hands. There you go, Feline putting in a little dig, making it hard on everyone. She's like just here to torture, torture people. Which keeps it fun, keeps it a little faster, keeps it a little safer also. Can't tell. I think that's Felicia that covered that time. It's going slow, so again, well, it's not too slow, but it's pretty slow for this section. But it's late in the race too, so not sure how many people want to attack. We're going to be probably going into 3 laps to go, maybe. Yeah, I think about 3 laps to go once we cross start-finish line. This is another course that runs kind of long. It's kind of like a big lap. I think it's still only like 0.8 of a mile, but these laps are like 2-minute laps. So yeah, here comes the Altavelo train here. So yeah, I think we're going into 3 laps to go. Couldn't really see. Actually, it's probably 2 laps to go here. I think it is. It's 2 laps to go. So yeah, Altavelo has the train going. They've got the speed going a little bit. It's not real high right now, but you still got 2 laps, so they got a long way to go. So they'll just start slowly ramping it up. Like I said, they were very active in putting in a lot of work at the front, either in that break or just trying to run the break back down. So yeah, they definitely got the lead out train going here. And again, it's good to see, like I said, it's good to see all the different teams, different tactics, to see what people are willing to do. And anytime you have a lead out train, then some people are sacrificing. They're sacrificing for a teammate. That's what I love about it. I love cycling as a team sport. As an individual sport, it's not as appealing to me, but as a team sport, I think it's pretty valuable. And, there's a lot of worth in that. So yeah, I think Altavelo saw that we were kind of challenging the train here, and they just kind of backed off a little bit and kind of take advantage of our train. So obviously you can't, but we don't have a rear facing camera, but we have a 4-person train lined up right now. So yeah, this should be the last lap. Going into the last lap right now. And like I said, these are some pretty long laps. So we hit the front a little bit early. We still got like a full two minutes to go. And like I said, there's only 4 riders in the train. Four riders is pretty good. It just depends on what you have in the tank, left in the tank, and where you want to go from. But yeah, Marlena has to speed up a little bit. Probably can be a little bit higher, but I think she's just fatigued from covering moves and all that kind of stuff, and then just, kind of going early with Altavelo setting the pace on the last lap. So Felicia takes over there. You see Morgan second on her wheel. I don't know who's third, but Colleen's fourth. So it's stretched out pretty good. They got the speed going pretty high, but it's a long way. And then with the uphill finish like that, I'm sorry, it's not even an uphill finish. It's an uphill kicker to a downhill finish, but you got to burn so much energy on the long uphill part. So yeah, I think Colleen ended up getting the jump at about the halfway point on this road here. Colleen holds everybody off for the victory. And I want to say either Jazz or Taylor got second. Can't remember which. Yeah, so we end up getting fifth in the P123, I think, third in the P123 with Morgan and fifth with Anastasia. I think third, fourth, and fifth with Morgan, Elisa, and Anastasia in the P123, and something like fifth, sixth, seventh in the overall, maybe fourth, sixth, seventh. I can't remember, fifth or fourth in the overall. So got a couple people up in the top 10, but again, I would have liked to seen that break good away. And then right here, we just kind of got stuck in no man's land, being out front a little bit early, and then wanting to keep the speed high. But it's a long lap, and we just kind of got the timing wrong. So thanks for watching. Again, I think it was another good race. Super proud of the team. And, yeah, we'll see you at probably Rosina Ranch next week.